All right, guys. This video is just me going over like news and what's going on in all the different divisions. So I'm on the UFC website right now, looking at the rankings. We're just gonna start. Who's gonna start? Um, so this coming weekend Korean Zombie versus we got Korean Zombie versus return of Brian Ortega. This fight has been a year in the making. Um, there's a bit of beef in there. It's a good fight. Um, they had a little altercation. I forgot which event it was, but it did get physical, and some stuff was being said. But then what's it called? But then COVID hit, and then I think Zombie had to get a surgery, so he was out. So this fight is finally happening now. Um, so it's not a well. Actually, it is official because 2 hours ago, Dana White did say that the winner of this will get the title or will be next in line for the title fight against Volkanovski. Volkanovski coming off of the two Max Holloway wins. So I think it's interesting. I agree with it. I definitely believe that Korean Zombie, and one person that's getting a little bit overlooked is Zabit. I don't know where he's at. I don't know who they're looking at him to fight. I think that they were doing the Yair Rodriguez and Zabit fight. I think Yair backed out of that for some reason. I'm not sure. That news was from like a couple weeks ago, so I'm not sure where that's at right now. Calvin Kattar has looked very good, but I think personally, this fight does make sense. If Korean Zombie, I personally would have liked to see Korean Zombie versus Zabit. To see who would get that next featherweight title shot against Volkanovski. But this works as well. Brian Ortega is not no he is very, very, very high level. He's coming off of his one of I think Max Holloway's greatest performance. He's coming off of that loss. I think Brian Ortega has a lot to prove. He has an opponent that he's motivated to go out and perform against. I think it's going to be a great fight. And yeah, as I said, the winner will be looked at as the number one contender for Volkanovski's title. I don't know where that leaves Max Holloway. I don't know where he can go from there. I'm looking at the rankings. I don't know. Maybe they do Zabit Max, because Zabit. I mean, he definitely deserved that, right? He deserves that fight. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. I'm gonna go to the fight card and see what else off the top of my head. I don't remember. Okay, Caitlin Shakur. Okay, yeah, that's a great fight, very high level fight, but I think that's enough for this card. Saeed Nurmagomedov. Okay, that's fine. Then we got UFC 254. Let's go. Man, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. Yeah, lightweight. Man, I'm super excited for this fight. There's a lot of stuff. I might make another video on Khabib situation, or this fight and all the news surrounding this fight. I think personally that this is the toughest test for Khabib. However, I think Justin Gaethje, Gaethje got here by defeating Tony Ferguson in the first pay-per-view, after COVID, right? That was a tough fight, man. There's been I think a lot of people are overlooking Tony Ferguson and all this. He came out, he had a whole interview talking about how he still wants Khabib next. Khabib, he doesn't seem too interested in it, but he said that if because at the end of the day, Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight Khabib. That didn't work out, So they had Tony versus Justin Gaethje. Tony was not prepared for Justin Gaethje, right? Um, Also, Tony went through that weight cut before, and I think that really, really, really hindered his performance. I don't think Tony Ferguson was motivated for that fight at all. I don't think there was nothing in it for him. He was the winner of that fight. The winner of Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson was gonna fight Khabib, but Tony was already scheduled to fight Khabib. So what's in it for him? He's not doing anything. He just stepped up because Dana approached him and was saying that have a lot of eyes on the sport. It's the first sporting event back, and it did great. Tony Ferguson stepped up. It did great. It was a great fight, but again, I don't think that was Tony Ferguson's. I don't think he performed at the highest of his ability for sure. Um, I had a couple people also say that, but I don't see that going around too much. But that definitely is that's definitely my opinion that Tony Ferguson did not perform well. He didn't look like himself. Not saying I had Justin Gaethje winning. I thought he was gonna win, but I thought I literally had I had him winning, not because of it is a good matchup for him. I think Justin Gaethje, that was his best performance. He looked very good. But I had Justin Gaethje winning simply off the fact that Tony Ferguson he didn't want to fight him, and I think you could have told I I saw it in his eyes, man. I saw Tony did not want to fight him, not because of there was nothing in it for him. Um, so yeah, I think that right now Justin Gaethje, I still think. Oh right, and there's the whole thing about Michael Chandler. They're ready. He's gonna be weighing in everything. He's gonna be there to step in for whoever. If I don't see him, I think that fight's gonna happen. I think Khabib and Gaethje, they're both gonna make the weight. They're gonna walk out, and that fight is gonna happen. But it's kind of interesting how Michael Chandler came in, and he's already considered, to be kind of number one contender. I think that Dustin Poirier is. I think if Dustin Poirier fought Justin Gaethje again, I think Dustin Poirier would beat him again. I think Dustin Poirier would beat Tony Ferguson. I think he would beat. I think he would beat Michael Chandler. I think Dustin Poirier is the second best lightweight in that division, and you saw what Khabib did with him, right? But the only fight I see Dustin, I really, really hope that McGregor Poirier fight is gonna happen. It's not gonna happen in 2020 as McGregor is trying to make it happen. It's not happening in 2020. It's gonna happen January. Dana has offered him the fight for January. I think January 23rd. So I think it's gonna happen then. It's not gonna happen in 2020 as the November December cards are. They're pretty much official. Dana White came out 2 hours ago and said that the December card will be Amanda Nunes versus who did he? It was Amanda Nunes and let me just confirm right here. And also Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. So that fight is now good. It's for December, for that December card, that last card of the year, and headlining it will be Amanda Nunes versus I think it was, man, I don't even remember stuff. Was it? Hold on, let me just see. I can't forget. I can't believe I just Nunes what was that, UFC 256, I think. UFC 56. Man, why? Yeah, 256 against oh man, I didn't even get to. I'm looking at all the headlines. whoever it is. Amanda Nunes is that she got that in the bag. Anyways, I don't know why I can't find it right now. I just watched the interview. Um, but yeah, and Amanda Nunes is headlining that card, and the co-main will be Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling for the title. Um, that man, also Corey Sandhagen. We gotta talk about Corey Sandhagen coming off of that win from last weekend. That was an amazing fight. Corey Sandhagen, to be completely honest, I haven't seen a lot of his fights before. I have seen him. I didn't watch them live, is what I'm saying. So, that fight really made me a big, because I was a big Marlon Moraes fan, big Marlon Moraes fan, and Corey Sandhagen, he looked incredible. He looked incredible in that fight. So yeah, he's the number one contender. He's getting the next title fight. I think he came out and said that he wanted to fight Dominic Cruz, actually, which is interesting. I think that's a very realistic fight, because Dominic Cruz is wanting to come back. And he wants the title. Dominic Cruz wants the title. He believes he's the best bantamweight in the world. But he is coming off of the title loss to Henry Cejudo, so he will need to take another fight. And I think Corey Sandhagen, Dominic Cruz makes a lot of sense, and have the winner fight the winner of Yan and Sterling. So. Well, I don't know how that'll work, because the timing, it's Dominic Cruz. We'll see, but I think that can still happen. If it doesn't happen, Corey Sandhagen will be fighting. He definitely deserves to be number one contender, bantamweight. Okay, and we can keep it going. Oh right, co-main for UFC 254, Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier. It's tough. I think I have Jared Cannonier winning that fight. Because I don't see Robert Whittaker being able to close the. I do see him being able to close the distance, but not without taking some hits. And I think Darren Till and Jared Cannonier, there's a big power difference there, right? And I think if Jared Cannonier, which he will land, Robert Whittaker, he's very sized up against all these other middleweights. He's just, I don't know, because right, Israel Adesanya, big lengthy fighter, Jared Cannonier, length, Darren Till, right? So I think Robert Whittaker has a very hard time with those kinds of fighters, and that's why his last couple fights have been very similar, right? With Darren Till and Israel Adesanya, he's fighting very lengthy fighters that know how to use their length, their reach. So Robert Whittaker, having the size that he has, it is hard for him to fight against those type of guys, and I think it's not going to be the same. It's going to be the same for him with Jared Cannonier. That reach is definitely going to play a factor. Robert Whittaker definitely got hits in both fights. Israel Adesanya and the Darren Till fight, I think, was the best, bro. That was the best technical fight I've ever seen in my life live. That was a great fight. And so yeah, I think. And yeah, so Whittaker was able to, he was able to close the distance a little bit and get some hits off of Darren Till, but he was always getting clipped back, right? And I think those shots, I don't think he'll be able to take shots from Jared Cannonier. Robert Whittaker is a dog. I think he's very talented. I think he can. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see Robert Whittaker champion again. As long as I don't see anyone I don't see anyone beating Adesanya, to be honest. We'll talk about that as well. But I have Jared Cannonier winning, and he's gonna fight Adesanya for the title at middleweight. Now Adesanya. So there was talks about having right, Khabib and McGregor do the Ultimate Fighter. But obviously Khabib turned that down. He said even if he gave 5 million, even if he gave him the whole UFC, he would not never do that, because at the end of the day, McGregor does not deserve that. And to be honest, I don't really want to see that. I think a lot of people are. I just don't think it'll work. It won't be civilized. Khabib, it's just gonna be chaos. It's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be productive. Like they're not gonna get. They're just gonna get into fights and stuff. I think what I would like to see for the Ultimate Fighter is Israel Adesanya and John Jones. I think that is very, very interesting. Um, when Israel goes up, I think John Jones. I could so yeah about John Jones. He looks like he's going up to heavyweight, but now with Jan Blachowicz, and after his performance, I think John needs to come back down and address that. He definitely needs to address Jan. Um, I don't know what his plans is right now, but I think down the line, I think they should do that Ultimate Fighter fight with Ezra Adesanya and John Bone Jones. I think they should do that. I think that would be my top pick for the Ultimate Fighter for this next Ultimate Fighter season, but we'll see what happens. Um, oh yeah, Islam Makhachev. Also, Khabib has came out and said that. Well, I just watched the Chael Sonnen video, which just came out as well. He told Chael Sonnen to get the word out that um, Islam. If Michael Chandler will fight Islam Makhachev, um, then he will consider Michael Chandler the number one contender, which means that right now Khabib is not looking to fight Michael Chandler. And everyone knows all Michael Chandler wants is to fight Khabib. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. He doesn't want to fight no one else. He just wants to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. He talks about it all the time. He's literally obsessed with Khabib, talking about how he's, studied him for years and years and all that. So I can see that fight happening, to be honest, because Khabib has tried to get a lot of people to fight Islam. I think right now Islam is scheduled to fight RDA on that same card, and that 254 card is crazy. Like, we got Tai Tuivasa headlining the prelim, so that's a great card. But if we're looking at lightweight, Islam Makhachev, it's tough getting him a fight. No one is accepting fights for him. I think that Kevin Lee and Islam Makhachev, that made a lot of sense. I don't know what happened with that. I don't think Kevin Lee wanted to fight him. I don't know where Kevin Lee's at right now. I think Islam, but Islam Makhachev is ranked 12 right now, and he's scheduled against RDA, which is tough, man. RDA, he's been looked at now as a little bit of a gatekeeper, even though he's still very, very high level. I still think I don't think he's still not very past his prime. He's very good, and I think, I don't know. I think he just been fighting the top level fighters. I think he's just fighting. It's just been hard matchups for him. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see if Islam gets to RDA, and then after that, I think he needs to get a big name fighter. I'm seeing Ali Quinta. I'm seeing Paul Felder. I'm looking at Dan Hooker. I'm looking at Michael Chandler. Right. We'll see what happens with that. Keep it going. Uriah Hall, you're okay. Santos, UFC 255. I think UFC 255 will be Davison Figueiredo. So that was supposed to be Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt, but Cody Garbrandt, he has pulled out due to an injury, and I think let me just make sure. I think that Davison Figueiredo is still going to be defending his title. He's going to be defending it against Alex Perez. Yeah, so that fight is going to be happening for UFC 255. I don't know. There's another fight there as well. Um, Usman, I think Usman and what's the dude's name? Usman and Gilbert Burns were scheduled for the December card, but Usman wants a little bit more time or something like that. We don't know exactly what's going on with that, so that's gonna happen later on. I don't know if that fight is not gonna happen in 2020. That fight is definitely gonna happen in early 2021. But yeah, I think that covers this video. Um, Oh right. We have Valentina Shevchenko fighting Jennifer Maia on that card, 255, I believe. Um, I think that fight is scheduled for 255, and yeah, I'll make a couple more videos on other topics such as what I think about Khamzat Shemaev. Um, yeah, I'll make another video on that for sure. But for this video, I think that about wraps it up. Looking forward to this Saturday card. Um, I'll probably maybe I'll do a sleeper fight. We'll see. And yeah, I'll make another video after the card as well, talking about the card and results and recent events. So